British Consulate, esteemed members of Calcutta Sports Journalists Association, my fellow athletes, legends from the sports world, Olympians, Arjuna awardees, and the budding stars, eminent guests who are present, respectable members of the media, those who are here to celebrate this occasion, and above all, my fondest regards to Chandan Das sir. I fondly call him Chandan Das ji, the President of the Paralympic Committee of West Bengal. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for inviting me and enabling me to receive this very precious award. So you said 4 hours of journey from Calcutta. But the moment I heard Calcutta Sports Journalists Association, and it took me back several years to my childhood, and when Kolkata was known as Calcutta. And the moment I say Calcutta, I get reminded of the beautiful tastes of the jhalmuri and the puchkas that we used to have when we used to wait for the recess and wait for the school to end. I'm very proud to share that I've had my father in the army, and that has brought me many a times to the state of Bengal, the West Bengal. My first experience here was when I was in grade 5, and my father was posted in Hashimara, and I travelled all around. Binaguri we lived, Siliguri, Jalpaiguri. So that was the early memories when I was just a 5th grader. And then I returned back in 11th grade. My first admission was in Kendriya Vidyalaya, Salt Lake, and then I was locally transferred to Kendriya Vidyalaya, Fort William. And that's where I really grew up. And I think I evolved as an adult, studying in Kolkata, then Calcutta. I have such fond memories of walking, playing, and seeing my first live band show in the St. Xavier's College, to watching the first English movie, to being allowed to ride a Luna because I had come of age to be able to earn a license. So a lot of firsts happened, and I even got the honor of being the school captain of Kendriya Vidyalaya, Fort William. So these are the lovely memories of Calcutta, and coming back to Calcutta is revisiting my childhood, my most memorable days. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Another link to Calcutta I have is my dear Didi, who's here, my mama's, elder mama's daughter. She has got married. It was an intercaste marriage, and we were very grateful to her that a girl from a Punjabi Khatri family is getting married into a Bengali family, and she was the first one to get married in the series of sisters who were there. And we said, oh, she's paved the line for us, and we will always have the freedom. But here, I have to remember, today I dedicate the Lifetime Achievement Award to my grandmother, my Nani. And she was the head of the family. And when you have women who are empowered, who are progressive in their thinking, who are able to nurture their girl children in a progressive way, I think, and for her from that era, when there was a conversation around Didi getting married into intercaste marriage, and she was the first one to say, what's the fuss about? If the person is a good human being, then we are absolutely happy to welcome him into our family and send our daughter to their family. And that's the grandmother we had. And of course, I remember the wedding that happened in Kolkata, and they had that ritual of sending a fish with a pan in the mouth, and I think that has to be sent. And my mother, my grandmother is somebody who doesn't even eat lasan, pyaj, meat, chicken. She's a very, very, very hardcore. She used to be very hardcore vegetarian and not even adrak, lasan and all that. But when it came to the ritual, there she stood with the tokra, or that bamboo tokri that you have, in which you place a banana leaf and then you have the fish. And then she called out for my dad being an army officer, and she says, Balkrishan, come here. She says, yes. Measure the size of the fish that has come from the boys' side. Our fish has to be 3 times larger. And I remember my dad going around the whole of the fish market to find a bigger fish, and then my granny approved it. So that's my granny, that progressive thinking woman that we have been brought up with. Coming to my mother, well, so proud of her, and she was a woman in her 60s. I mean, in the era of 60s, in her young 20s, she would don a uniform, be a member of the NCC, and go and do the Republic. She led the Republic Day parade in Bikaner, and those were the days. And she was also a member of the shooting team of Maharana Karni Singh. So having been brought up by such women around me, I think I'm blessed, and I dedicate it to them, this award. Chandan sir said that you must speak something about your life, and I think my life has been a journey of solutions. It has faced many ups and downs. The first time I was found with illness and weakness in my lower limbs was I was barely 5 years old. And that time my father had to take me all over the country to look for a diagnosis as to why the lower limbs were becoming weaker by the day. And finally he put me in Pune Command Hospital, where he took a compassionate medical ground posting. And everybody said that what's the point of struggling with the life of a girl child who's not even able to move in her own bed. It's better that the Almighty takes her away. But my parents never gave up on me. And thank God, they continuously persisted that some diagnosis comes for me. And eventually they did find a blockage in my spinal column. I was operated upon. And then came the very tough phase of rehabilitation. A body which had not walked for almost 2.5, 3 years was put in calipers, chest braces, and made to stand. And I think I learned the biggest lesson of my life during the toughest phase of my childhood, and that was that, Deepa, look at the larger picture. The bigger picture here is to learn to walk again, and to be able to achieve your goal, you have to undergo a bit of discomfort. Ignore the pain that the life serves you. And as a little girl, barely 7.5 years old, I learned that my bigger target is to walk again. And all the blisters, scratches, cuts, prickly that I get by wearing these braces have to be ignored. The other thing I learned during that illness was, today if I'm able to stand for 2 minutes, tomorrow I will gain the strength to stand 5 minutes, and then 10 minutes. And eventually one day I'll be able to walk again. One step will turn into 2, 2 will turn into 5, and I will be walking again. I learned to raise my own bar, and I learned to push my own boundaries and limits. And those lessons stayed with me throughout my younger days.